This summer transfer window is going to be crazy. How it's happened, bro? How? What the hell is going on, by the way? I saw that Summerville is going to go to Roma Football Club as they have sent three proposals for him, and it was more logical in the sense of continuing his career as he's young, he's talented, and their coach Gasperini helps the talents to grow as he has done with other players, as Lukman, for example. And it's supposed to happen. However, somehow on the same day, transfer battle started for Somerville. There was big competition for him, and it was Aston Villa Football Club somehow starting to observe the situation, and they were interested in him. However, at the end of the day, he's not going to Aston Villa or Roma either. You know where he's going? He's going to Al Hilal. And you know what's the price tag? 80 million euros package, as David Ornstein revealed. How? How the player who was relegated to championship can cost 80 million euros package? In a what world? I mean, this is completely crazy. This transfer window is going to be crazy. At the beginning of this summer transfer window, Manchester United also was interested in Summerville. However, as Rashford came back and they couldn't sell the Rashford, they are not interested in him anymore. They were not interested in him in the final stages where he was going to Roma Football Club. And the interesting part is West Ham United, after selling Matheus Fernandes for 85 million pounds, they are selling Summerville for 80 million euros package. This is completely crazy. And, Manchester United board has to learn how to sell the players from West Ham United board. It's completely crazy, I'm shocked about that. It's the fact of selling the players in that prices who don't cost these kind of prices in any world. I mean, even if I combine both of them, I mean, Somerville and Matheus Fernandes, their price tag would not cost more than 80 million euros. I mean, combined. But each of them costs more than 80 million euros. And how it's possible, bro? I mean, Morgan Rogers went to Chelsea Football Club for 170 million pounds. Before that, Elliot Anderson for 160 million pounds. Sandro Tonali for 100 million euros or pounds. And this player, Summerville, who is, statistics about 4 goals and 2 assists or something in a Premier League season, for 80 million euros package. Come on, man. I cannot accept that. This is ridiculous completely. And there is another transfer, the transfer of, who? Alejandro Garnacho. He was actually backup option for Somerville, and Roma was interested in him. They wanted to bring him if Somerville deal would collapse. Garnacho was giving his priority to Roma Football Club. And somehow, when Somerville deal collapsed for Roma Football Club, at the same situation, at the same time, Aston Villa hijacked the deal. As Fabrizio Romano revealed, Alejandro Garnacho to Chelsea, here we go, and she's joining with a loan deal with the obligation to buy him after one season. And the most important part is here that Garnacho was so stubborn last season that he was just saying that he wants only Chelsea Football Club. Even, last season there were more clubs interested in him. There were Bayern Munich. There were other clubs as Napoli, as much more better clubs with the whole respect to Chelsea Football Club. But he has decided to choose Chelsea, even when Manchester United wanted to sell him to other club. Manchester United want to make some kind of battle for him, he has said no. I want only Chelsea, and somehow Aston Villa hijacked the deal for Alejandro Garnacho when his priority was Roma Football Club. And I have a question in these transfers because at the end of the day, it seems like only Manchester United board and the Manchester United club seems for me as a fucking loser because they cannot sell the players. They cannot sell Marcus Rashford even. They are giving the players for a loan and after that with a buy clause or mandatory buy option, they are selling their players only with that way. For example, with Rasmus Højlund, but they cannot sell the player straight away like for a good price. They sent Onana for a loan. They sent a lot of players for a loan, and most probably they are supposed to send Zirkzee for a loan. They most probably would not sell him. They didn't sell Manuel Ugarte at the beginning of summer transfer window, and for that reason, he's not going, like anywhere because he's injured, and nobody gonna buy him. And I mean, what kind of attitude is that? Because Manchester United, the club of this size, has to, perform better in all sense. You understand what I mean? Because West Ham, as a club that was relegated, as a club who was in a mid-table, like a club who was like not in Manchester United size, performing much more better. I mean, as a board, selling the players like with who cost 40 million euros, not more than 40 million euros for 80 million euros and pounds. I mean, this is fantastic. This is completely fantastic for me. And I'm shocked about that, about the performance and the attitude of Manchester United Football Club, how they are reacting. Because, a lot of clubs are bringing the players for crazy money. More than 100 million pounds are like, but United are acting like they are a club in the size of Everton or something. They are waiting for what? I don't understand it. And I'm sorry for Manchester United fans. I repeated it several times. And this is simply not good enough in the sense of attitude. They cannot sell the players. And for what reason Marcus Rashford back to the club? I cannot understand that. They cannot sell even Marcus Rashford. How? How it's happening? How, like, you cannot blame the previous board because you are shit also. When you cannot sell your players. You cannot bring the new players. There are much more better. There were much more better options before when with the Elliot Anderson, with the Chomeni, when he didn't extend his contract. There were other players, other options, much more better. Right now, I don't think so because Manu Kone doesn't have a Premier League experience and he needs at least 6 months to adapt to the Premier League. However, Manchester United needs a third defensive midfielder who has to start as a starting 11 because Manuel Ugarte has injured. By the way, he was not starting 11 anyway. Casemiro left the club. There is Andres Santos, of course, but he can be only backup option, the bench player. There is Tielemans, there is Kobe Mainu, but there are not defensive midfielders. This is completely crazy for me how they are doing their job in whole sense. Because at the beginning of the summer transfer window, they have known that they need at least 7 players to their squad, but they just brought only 3. And the summer transfer window gonna finish after 35 or 40 days. And they need 4 more players. I mean, they are so slow. They are so slow and they are waiting for something. And the options and good options not left like in this summer transfer window, as Manu Kone is... as I have mentioned, doesn't have experience. Sander Berge can be the next Morgan Schneiderlin for Manchester United, even when he have experience. And there is a big question what to do next. I have said in the previous videos that there is Nico Gonzalez from Manchester City. But I'm not sure that they have a brain to bring him. Anyway. So please let me know your thoughts about the summer transfer window, how it's going. It's crazy for me. And please subscribe. Bye bye.